Hi, I'm Tisha,
I'm Loren.
and this is the Open Booked podcast. Today we are talking about Slow Dance by Rainbow Rowell and a bunch of BookTok tea that we forgot last week and found out more information about.
We are here for the tea.
Yes.
So, what are you reading?
Um, right now I'm trying to finish my arc, Capitally Engaged. I'm it's it's an ebook, so it's so much harder to get through those. I
Yeah.
just can't focus long enough.
Yeah, no,
What
I
about
get
you?
it. Yeah, I just finished Slow Dance, as I'm sure you did too. I finished that this morning in Gaming Clutch right before book club. Um, I am wrapping up probably today. I have less than 2 hours left. When He Was Wicked, which is one of the Bridgerton books. I am so tired of Bridgerton. I keep going away and coming back. I only have two more books after this one, I think. And then hopefully I can just like be done with that era and enjoy the show. But
Yeah.
my personality doesn't let me move on. But this is trending right now. A paper book in all of my free time. I'm going to read this Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I don't know if you've seen it. It's so cute. Like, the cover's so cute. I got it last year and just didn't get around to reading it. But she has a sequel called The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. And it actually, I don't know if you can tell that leaves are kind of shiny, which I thought was cute. But apparently people are having a hard time finding this book. I just ordered it on Amazon.
Yeah.
But people are, like, posting in the book pages on Facebook, like, found them at Sam's. Sam's has them. There's 5 copies. And I'm like, I just ordered on Amazon and got here in 2 days. So apparently there's some supply issues. I think they're an indie author. There's also a Christmas Tree Farm, so I'll have to get that around Christmas time. But
Yeah.
I have another book I wanted to talk about. I got this last year. It's a novella, which we learned means it's short. It's apparently wild and in the dark romance genre. I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to read it and then I'm going to give it to you to read, and then hopefully we can do a little excerpt or something. It's called Carving for Kara, and it's like about a corn maze, I think.
Okay.
But all of the pages are black. Like, if you can see them.
Okay.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, just getting into the spooky fall mood because the weather is lovely here.
It's so nice.
So, yeah. That was a very long answer for me to just tell you what I'm reading. So sorry, guys. I just wanted to show off my books, really. So.
I love a unique book. Like,
yes.
anything that sets it apart is fun.
Yeah, I love the black. I literally pretty much ordered it because it was about a pumpkin patch or corn maze or something. And it has black pages. Anyways, you want to get into the tea?
Oh, if I could stop yawning.
It's funny.
That brunch did me in, like, for the day, probably.
Yeah, we could talk about that now. Yeah, we had our it's our third book club meeting or something.
Yeah.
Which we decided to follow Reese's book club, as we've discussed. So it was Slow Dance, which is the same book we're covering today. We went to a new place. It said family style, but it's like a buffet, but made to order buffet, right?
Yeah. It's weird. Like,
it was weird.
I think for dinner it's more like family style, so they just bring it all out on one thing and then you can share. So it's like serve like sharing size. It's like a bunch of appetizers basically. You just get a bunch of appetizers, but they're also full entrees. It's different. It's nice, expensive, but it's good food.
Yeah, I feel like today's breakfast or brunch was like,
Yeah.
I didn't like love it. I'm not gonna be like yelling about it like I do buttered biscuit, but I'm not gonna like say a bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but we ate a lot because
so
it was
much
like
food.
In my head, girl math free.
Yeah. I just pay one price and I get all the things.
Yes, except coffee was extra, and I didn't want to pay $5 for a coffee when I could just go to 7 Brew for $5 and get one that I know I love. So.
Yeah.
Our next book club pick is going to be The Comfort of Crows by Margaret Wrinkle. That's how you say it. Looks like it's about birds, so we'll see how much we like this one. I'm going to go in with a positive attitude.
Yeah, I'm not a huge outdoor outdoors fan. Like I love hiking and stuff, but I don't like, I don't know. Maybe the ADHD in me will kind of take over and I'll really get into it. But I'm not like super interested in like leaves and trees and birds. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, and the backstory on this one was it was one of Reese Witherspoon's teachers, and I saw a video and she was like crying about
Mm-hmm.
how this teacher influenced her life. So I don't know if it's like an obligatory, did I even say that right?
Yeah.
Pick, because it's like, oh, this teacher inspired me and now I'm like
Yeah.
super rich and famous, so I'm just gonna make my 100th book club pick about her book. But anyways, I guess we'll see. So that's our next pick. But
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll do an episode on it or even talk about it a little bit in a future episode.
Yeah.
Okay, let's spill the tea, sis.
Oh man, where do we want to start?
Smut. Start with your smut.
Okay, so let me go to her post. I had to screenshot it because it's Karina Alley. Basically, she was kind of looped in way after the fact. Some asshole posted on Twitter, basically dragging her because of her book. The title is literally smut, and she was surprised there was smut in it. Like, I don't understand that.
Shocker.
Yeah, so I'll just read her post, which kind of goes through all of it. She said, I've got some things to say before I disappear for a while and think I have the right to say them. Then I'm going to finish this deadline, which is killing me. Last night, I discovered that my rom-com, Smut, was the subject of a very viral tweet on Twitter. More views than I will ever see, 2 million, with 3,000 quote tweets, 44,000 likes, and thousands of comments. The post and the majority of the comments were people trashing me, the book that they hadn't read, and spicy romance in general. These cute covers are cringe. Sex in books is cringe, etc. I was flabbergasted. I don't have access to Twitter, not for years, so I had no idea that this viral hate fest was happening. Very strange feeling to see a book of mine, published in 2016, by the way, being the subject. Now my mental state has been low, but I personally didn't take huge offense to what the original poster said, because they hadn't read the book. They said this book was their nightmare. I mean, if you hate cartoon covers and spice, then maybe. What I did take offense to were the comments ripping me apart, the book and romance in general, purity culture in full swing, and in such a viral way. So I posted about it. I defended my book. It's called Smut because it's a tongue-in-cheek title. It's got that new sweet cover because it's a rom-com. It's a book that's a love letter to nerd culture. It has LARPing. I don't know what that is.
Live action role playing, baby. Renaissance fair shit.
And about writing and reading spice. It's about pushing back against those who look down on smut and romance. That post was just proving the point of the book. But now I'm inundated with messages from people telling me they'll never read me, okay, that I'm a bully, huh? And that I should have blacked out the original poster's name because now they are getting harassed and stay out of readers' spaces. Twitter? That post got huge before I even learned about it. I didn't even think to black out the name because it was a viral post. Even if I had, people would have found it anyway. 2 million views before I even saw it, and I have never sent people after the original poster. Like, that's obviously not okay. The point of my post was that spicy romance and self-publication is always dealing with this shit. So I stood up for it, and I can see that's pissed many of you off. Not sure what the answer is.
Okay. So, let me just say this. There's nothing wrong with sex being in books. There's nothing wrong with sex not being in books. There is books for literally everyone. If it is not your cup of tea, fuck right off.
Yeah. DNF and move on.
Exactly. There is no need to attack somebody for a book you haven't even read. That is ridiculous. If you've read it and it's bad, give a review, whatever.
Yeah.
But not even reading it, that is absolutely insane.
Yeah. So then the people that were dragging her in the comments were saying, in this book, there's a guy that she named after her own cousin. His name was Magnus, I think, who is a prince in Denmark. And at the time of writing the book, 2016, obviously that's a while ago, the prince was 12. So now people are trying to somehow make the correlation that Karina is a pedophile and she shouldn't be thinking these things and shouldn't be writing about a child and basically denigrating him in that way. And I'm like, what a fucking stretch. Like, how did you even come to that?
Grasping at straws. That's
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
Dear God.
Yeah. So, there's a bunch of people just shitting all over her and then writing, they call it review bombing, just leaving a bunch of shitty reviews to bring her rating down, which then affects her pay and the way that people will, view a book. I don't typically even look at the rating before I read a book. I think I just kind of go off of any blurb that's shared or a personal recommendation from someone. Like if a friend gave it 5 stars, I'll try it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'll love it. Doesn't mean I'll hate it, but I'm going to try it.
I'm a sucker for a cute cover. I ain't even gonna
Yeah.
lie. Cute
Same.
cover. Judge a book by its cover. Yes, I like a cute cover. I like an interesting one. But
Yeah.
I don't really read reviews either because there's books that I think are phenomenal that have low reviews. I don't care. Everyone has their own preferences. I don't really... The only thing I trust reviews on is like Amazon or online ordering. I'm not trusting it on books or music.
And hotels.
Like hotels, yeah. Travel stuff.
If there's mention of roaches, I'm out. Just don't even consider it.
SpongeBob meme. Alright, I'm gonna head out.
Yeah. So another tweet I saw, or thread I saw about this, Jennifer Carolyn, I don't know who she is. She said, unsurprising to learn that the purity culture bullshit stirred up on the Bird app, X or Twitter, about Karina Halley's awesome, incredibly fun book is from the toxic side of the K-pop fandom.
K-pop?
Yeah.
K-pop has purity culture? I know nothing about K-pop.
I don't either. So I was like, okay. But yeah, that's wild. And I think it is really just telling about you as a person that you're willing to shit on someone for something they poured their heart and soul into, because to be an indie author or self-published, like you got to pour time, money, effort, energy, all of the things into it. So I can't believe someone would just shit on it in that way without even reading it.
That's the thing. If you read it, whatever. But if you haven't, then fuck you don't off. Get entitled to an opinion. Exactly. Fuck off.
Yeah. So to kind of segue into our revisiting of the Apolycon shit show from last week, Karina Halley said that she would haul her books in a suitcase herself, and someone said that it's an ADA, which is American Disabilities Act, violation, and Freeman, which is the drayage company that is contracted with Gaylord, where the Apolycon is hosted, is claiming it's against union laws to let the exhibitors wheel things, which is just fucking moronic in 27 different layers and languages and all the things. Like, if someone's willing to carry one box at a time of their books across 2,000 square feet, fucking let them do it. Like, what does it matter? What does it matter?
Yeah. Okay, maybe the hotel needs to have them sign like a liability waiver. Fine.
Yes.
I'll sign the fucking liability waiver saying I'm responsible for hauling my own suitcases across this, or wagon, or cart, or whatever they do, so that they're not liable for any accidents, injuries, damages, whatever. I get that. You gotta have a CYA these days. But
oh yeah,
the drayage company and union, but they're not even using that drayage company. This is why I'm like, you can't make it make sense to me, because they're bringing in their own books. Why does it matter?
Shit. Why?
What does it have anything to do with them being a union?
It doesn't. They're just grasping at straws in this instance too, I think, because they don't want to lose money. So, and I looked it up again. It is $2.50 per pound of these books that they are charging these authors. So as far as I know, JLA is still splitting that with them, but still $1.25 a pound for books Like I just can't even do that math when you're trying to bring like 1,000 books because you're an indie author and you're trying to promote yourself and I just don't get it. Like
Yeah.
all of these things.
I don't understand at all. So maybe more will come in that
Yeah.
saga.
And if I were JLA, I would strongly consider finding some giant fucking warehouse to host it and pay them, a little bit of money. It might not be cute or fun or comfortable, but people will show up and you'll all save money and everybody will appreciate it even more because you're willing to kind of take that step back and be like, okay, I'm not going to give in to these assholes that are going to nickel and dime me to death to host this event there.
Yeah.
Just not going to do it.
For sure. Maybe she will.
Hopefully. Maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year. I was like, it's in DC, so like surely there's some fucking places you can find other than a Gaylord resort,
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's meetings and stuff in DC all the time, considering it's our country's capital. Well, in other BookTok drama, there is a man who murdered 2 women, and his name is Wade Wilson. No, it's not Deadpool. That's Deadpool's name, right? Wade Wilson.
Yeah.
I thought this was fake when someone was telling me about it. I was like, wait, you mean Deadpool?
Yeah.
No. Ryan Reynolds? No. His literal name is Wade Wilson. He murdered 2 people, and the BookTok women are feral. I'm just not gonna try to offend anyone. I just don't see it. Tisha, if you're not watching video, just gagged. Okay? She gagged. I don't see it. Honeys, girls,
get better standards.
Are you okay? Please,
yeah,
you need help.
They're fucked up.
But okay, the kicker is, I was talking about this earlier. Tisha was talking about something else. Turns out we were talking about the same thing. Apparently there's an author that is using him to promote her book now. So then that got me in this like spiral of, can he even make money from that? Which he can. There's a law from the Son of Sam law, that prohibits criminals from profiting from their crimes, such as writing or selling stories about them. But this isn't his crime, it's a fictional story. So technically...
He could.
She could be paying his ass from jail for murdering people to help promote her book.
I kind of hope he goes after her for that. If that's the case, if he can make money off of it, I kind of hope he goes after her because, one, she's a piece of shit for using a real serial killer to promote her serial killer book because, what are we just saying? Fuck those victims. Like, they don't matter. Like, your book and the publicity of it matters more than these people's lives that he took. Like,
yeah, that's what I was going to say. My thought was, are they giving the profits from this to the victims' families? Because that's what happened to what rapper raped a bunch of women? What's his name?
Diddy?
No, not Diddy. God, there was one. And there in the court order, it was like all of his profits from his music goes to the victims' families. So people are like joking about playing his music all the time to get them more money.
R. Kelly.
R. Kelly, yes! So all the profits from his music goes to the victims' families.
Yes. Playing on repeat in my sleep.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, I just got to show a picture of this guy because if you're watching, you got to know what we're talking about and why I gagged. That's not even attractive. Like, why? Why?
And they also say he's like dressing like the Joker, like his suits are too big. You know what I mean? They're like, he's like giving Joker vibes. And not Heath Ledger, by the way, is okay. Rest in peace, sir. That Joker, not okay. Okay, so
he has a swastika tattooed on his cheek.
I told you, yes, he's a Nazi motherfucker. I forgot to say that on the pod. I said that earlier, like Nazi style motherfucker. Yeah.
Ugh.
Girls! I have to say this again! Stop! Oh my gosh. Ugh. He's not Zayd Meadows. I repeat, he is not Zayd Meadows. Okay. So I am trying to find this Cassie the author. Ruffle. I'm trying to find her book. to figure out the name of this book. I think it's called Shocking Revelations.
Yeah.
Shocking Revelations. Okay, so if anyone was curious about the book that she's promoting.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Here's this is on Reddit, but it shows her post here says, if you like this, and it shows a picture of Wade Wilson, then you'll like this, and it's her new book.
That is fucking disgusting. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all stop. I've said that enough today, but dear God.
Ugh. It says with the words, if you like him, Wade Wilson, if you love the idea of spicy criminals, death row inmate with an electric relationship, then you'll love this, her book.
So, are you sneaking in the prison, or is it pull the pole, or what's going on here? If y'all aren't on video for this one, go get on video, because the facial expressions, top tier, my friends, top tier.
Yeah, I can't.
Should we move on to something a little fluffier, such as banned books?
Yeah.
Tisha told me about this, and I did some little Google recon. Okay, major publishers such as Penguin Random House, which is one of the biggest publishers. I bet if I looked on my bookshelves, like half of them would probably be that.
Yeah.
Are suing the state of Florida, where local school authorities are obligated to remove a book from the library if one single person objects to it. The publishers consider it to be unconstitutional. I agree with that. Now, are there certain books that I would say kids don't need to read? Absolutely. That should not be in high school or even middle, any school libraries? Yes. Do I think they need banned? No. Is there? If you have a problem with that book, we've said this several times already today, don't fucking read it.
And plain and simple. Like, if you read the back of it and you're like, oh, won't like that, or read, the beginning, the epilogue, or most of them nowadays have trigger warnings, or hey, here's just kind of a rundown of what might be included in this. If you don't like that, that's fine. Step away. Like, put the book down and move on.
Yep, I agree with that. So, anyways, that's what's going on. I agree it's unconstitutional. So, and I'm sure it's not. I'm sure Florida's just the start. I think this is happening absolutely everywhere across the country. I would guess that Florida's just a very populated state. So it would be one. I mean, I think it's going to be popping up. So I guess we'll stay tuned on that. Any other book talk drama? I have some celebrity tea.
Apparently, somebody went after Rebecca Yarros and did the same review bombing on hers. Because they said she needs to stay in her lane and finish Onyx Storm.
Yeah. Onyx Storm is done. If you followed her on social media, it's in editing. So, it's done. It's releasing in January. That's stupid. Yeah. Why are people doing this? Use your power for something else.
Yeah, I guess they're doing it on Variation.
Yeah, it's one of her...
Never heard of it.
I think it's either just launching, or it's launched in between Iron Flame and Onyx Storm. But before that, she's been a romance author. Fantasy is like a new genre for her. Her husband is a big military guy, and she's wrote several military romances. I haven't read them yet, but I have seen that people say they left them in, crumbles. So the romantasy that this person is saying to stick to is the new thing for her, and the romance is her OG genre. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and that's what the girl who does these weekly threads roundups, her handle, just for anybody else that wants to follow along with the BookTok tea, her handle is Jana, Jana, and A&D Books, Books. She's on Threads and I believe Instagram too. I think you have to have an Instagram account to have Threads. But yeah, she's like, that's a weird and entitled thing to do. She's been very clear about her writing timelines and deadlines. So you're clearly not the fan you think you are if that's your stance. And 3, if this is the first book series you've ever read as it is published, getting 3 books in under 2 years is an incredibly fast timeline.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's insane. How long have we been waiting for Winds of Winter from George R.R. Martin? 20 fucking years. I don't know how long it is, but it's been a long time.
Forever.
forever. He's gonna die before he finishes that. Bless his heart. He's old as shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man.
We want to move on to celebrity tea.
Yeah.
So, Dancing with the Stars. Okay. Have you seen any of this?
Mm-mm.
They announced their celebrity cast this week. And it starts like next week or the week after, something like that. There's 2 people I'm very pumped about that are on there. I used to watch it as a kid. I kind of stopped as like a teenager into an adult. But I think I'm going to get back into it this year because Alana Mayer, I don't know if you follow her.
Mm-mm.
She is the women's rugby from the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
She is hilarious. I love her. She's just like a good role model, I feel like, for women and kids everywhere, and there needs to be more people like her. Just she doesn't get political. She's just a genuinely good, kind human being that's like, hey, if you're a girl, it's okay to be like buff and sporty, but also I'm a woman, I want to feel pretty, I'm gonna do my hair, I'm gonna wear pretty dresses. Like, she's just like, it's okay to be who you are, which I think more women need to have examples like that. And then the pommel horse guy. Do you remember him? He took his glasses off. He had one event, went out there and kicked ass. They were calling him Clark Kent. Okay, he's adorable. He's like this little nerdy guy with these super thick glasses. Immediately gets off the mat, puts his glasses back on like he's Clark Kent again. And he's on. So it's really sweet that they have some like Olympic presence there. But there's one person that is on that is stirring up some controversy. Okay. Do you remember Anna Delvey from Inventing Anna on Netflix?
Yes.
Real life her, not the actress, is on. Yeah.
Who thought this was a good idea?
She literally has a fucking house arrest anklet in her pictures and as she's dancing because she's still on house arrest for literally being a con artist. And people are like so excited. I'm like, you guys are idolizing what she did. I've said, like, I don't really have an opinion on it. Like, she has been serving her time and her house arrest got loosened up. Like, and so she's able to do this. She just can't leave the city of New York, so she can just do everything there. But I'm also like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, okay, you guys are like telling the kids that like dance that are watching this that it's okay to be a con artist because it made her famous. And look at her now. She's on Dance.
Yeah. Because, that's the only reason she was conning in the first place is because she wanted to be relevant. She wanted to be famous. She wanted to make a name for herself. And she
rich.
She fucking did it. So
she faked. I don't know how she did it in such modern time, too. Like, I get if someone would have done this in the 70s, 80s, even 90s, because there wasn't, like, phones or credit. Like, there wasn't, like, the major tracking systems. Like, now, I'm like, this bitch did it in... what would she have gotten away with back in the day? That, or what have people gotten away with back in the day that we don't know about? Yeah. It just makes you think. But, yeah, no, so that... people are pretty fired up about that. And I haven't heard much positive response from it. I've only heard negative. So, I guess we'll see how that goes. She's young and seems semi-athletic, so I'd say she's going to do well at it. Like, I don't think she's going to get eliminated week 1. They have, like, an 80-year-old man in there, bless his heart.
Gosh.
They always do. They have a couple old people in there. They just can't move like that anymore. I know. I'm like, maybe they're just having fun, you know?
Yeah.
But, speaking of Olympics, did you see... that Hunter Woodall, oh my, I'm obsessed with them, okay?
I love them so much.
If you guys didn't watch the regular Olympics, there was a girl who won long jump. Her name's Tara Woodall. She won, like, jumped in the sand, like, did a sand angel, not snow angel. Ran to the crowd, jumped in the crowd. Her husband grabbed her. Jesse and I were watching it live, and we're like, oh, they're so cute. And then found out they literally live where we live. He went to the University of Arkansas. They're, like, super local here, which was really cool. And then, of course, full on, like, followed all their social medias. Well, Hunter is in the Paralympics. I'm not sure what his condition is, but he has, from his knee down, what would you call?
He's a double amputee.
Double amputee, okay. And he won, like, the 400-meter gold. And he ran to her. It was just, like, the most cute thing ever. And so, good for them. I think they were flying home yesterday, so I hope they gave them a warm welcome at XNA. I'm sure they did.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize they lived here. Like, I saw the story about them and I saw that he went to the U of A. But then when I saw he had like a surprise party for her when she got home,
Yeah.
and he's like, I'm throwing her, a surprise party at this, I can't remember the name of the pizza place, but I was like, that sounds familiar. It sounds like something local.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked it up and I was like, oh my gosh, it is. She's like, you made so she gets her medal out or her trophy, and she's like, you made it back from Paris. You're back in Arkansas. And I was like, oh, I love that.
Yeah, that was really, she named it. What did she name her medal? It was funny though. Yeah, no, I saw that video too. They're absolutely adorable. She's actually the track coach at Kansas, like in Lawrence.
Oh, okay.
But they live here, so I don't know if she just commutes or they go back and forth or what. But, yeah, I don't exactly know in detail, but I know that they live in Fayetteville. Yeah, so it's kind of cool, local.
Yeah, I saw something like Tuesday or Wednesday that said that one of his, because he uses the blades as his prosthetic, one of them like shattered in a like trial run, so he wasn't going to be able to compete. And I was like, oh, that's so devastating for him after they had all this hype and she won, that he doesn't even get to compete. And then I think he did miss out on competing on one of them, but then he won gold in the 400 meter.
Yeah, no, he had some trials and then he got COVID like a week before he was supposed to go to Paris. Like, he just had a rough go of it, so I'm sure that made it that much sweeter at the end.
Oh, yeah.
But,
wild.
Yeah, talking about Razorbacks, football's back, and I'm living in my Delulu fantasy that the Razorbacks are going to be good. I actually, the first game we won 70-0, and then we had this game yesterday, and we're up 2 touchdowns. I actually texted my husband, I may be Delulu for saying this, but I think the Hogs are actually going to be good this year. And then I texted him like an hour later, I'm definitely Delulu, because we lost in double overtime yesterday to
Oklahoma
OSU.
State.
Yes. Which I guess they are a pretty good team, to be fair. But also, we're an SEC team. We got to do better. We have to do better. We have Alabama and Georgia in our conference, and we can't be just losing.
Yeah.
It just don't work that way. It does, apparently, but they're called the Heartbreak Hogs for a reason. We're off to a real strong start. Anyways, she doesn't like the Razorbacks, but, she lives here, so she's got to deal with the hog calling.
Yeah, we went to Smitty's for lunch yesterday, and of course the Razorback game was on, and they were, of course, playing Oklahoma State, and which I hate the Cowboys too, so I was like, whatever.
I hope you both lose.
But I was surprised that they were winning before the half. I was like, apparently Coach Gundy figured something out after, I don't know. But I looked it up because I was like, is that still Coach Gundy? And it is. He's been coaching there since 2005. I'm like, almost 20 years. That is insane.
We have the Bobby Petrino back post-scandal as a offensive coordinator. That was some tea around here.
I said, if he's coming back to Arkansas, he better get a car, like call an Uber or something. He can't be having that kind of scandal again.
Nope, you are not allowed to have a motorcycle, Bobby Petrino. I actually know someone who actually bought that and has it as like a memento. The wrecked motorcycle. Literally has it. Here.
Oh man, the things people pay money for.
Yeah. I actually thought it was kind of funny, but I'm like, I wish I could just do that, Kept it wrecked and everything. It's like, anyways.
Oh man.
Should we talk about the book? Got plenty of other things out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's dive in. Slow Dance. First and foremost, did you like it?
Yeah, I I actually listened to it twice because I felt like I kind of rushed through it and wasn't paying a lot of attention. So I felt like I had missed some details, but even after the second listening, I still didn't pick up those details. So I think I gave it like not a 4.5, but like a 4.2. Like, not terrible. I loved kind of the overall story of it, but it was lacking in some just like consistency, I think.
Yeah.
Like we kind of talked about at book club, it kind of drug on and then it felt rushed or like it fell apart near the end. So
Yeah.
not the
I
best, but
I agree with that. I did a 4 just because I agree with you. I liked the storyline. I think it was a refresher for us after the bajillion cohos and then even the book last week, which we thought was good, but it was
yeah.
like none of that's realistic. And this
Hmm.
story is actually the first one I've read in a long time that I'm like, okay, this is
Yeah.
pretty realistic. Like he goes in
Yeah.
the Navy, she's like this is all stuff that could happen next door and no one would blink twice. It's like
Yeah.
that's exactly what I liked about it.
Yeah.
Um but I agree. I felt like it just drug on to get to the point. Wait, spoilers! Spoiler alert! Spoilers for Slow Dance. Do we have any triggers here?
uh
Family troubles, family trauma. Nope.
yeah.
No father. Neither of them really have a father figure.
No.
Military deployments. Yeah.
Yeah, and the one
Cheating.
is oh yeah. The one is being raised by his grandmother, but they act like it's the mother.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there were really any like triggers, like some things that, might resonate with people, but I don't think they're like terrifying.
Yeah, I don't think so. There's nothing like major in this book. But yeah, no, I personally did not like Shiloh at all throughout the entire book. It's just hard for me when I don't have a really likable female main character. Carrie, I didn't mind. I didn't like swoon, add him to the book boyfriend list or anything, but like he was a good character. But
Hmm.
Shiloh, I had notes. Okay, my 2 red flags. Number 1, she did not like the movie Top Gun. She said it was terrible. I
uh,
literally was making candles listening to this, and I stopped what I was doing, found a piece of paper, and wrote down Shiloh Flags doesn't like Top Gun. Okay, guys, y'all don't know us. I have a dog named after Top Gun. Tisha has 2 dogs named after
yeah.
Top Gun. This is a flag for us, okay?
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
okay. She also doesn't like dogs, so we're tying it all together here.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I'm not gonna like you. I also
Yeah.
didn't like her, like, I want to be different. Like, I thought it was cool that she had, like, liked vintage stuff, which is cool because you're, like, repurposing. But, like, her wanting to shave her head just to be different, I'm like, you're trying too
Yeah.
hard. Like, you have issues you need to work through if that's your mentality. Which I think
Yeah.
ultimately, after she gets cheated on, kind of changes things for her.
Yeah, for
And I
sure.
don't get that as much. Like, she still appreciates the vintage. But, like, high school Shiloh, if I was in high school with her, I would have hated her. Just being
Yeah.
honest.
Because you can tell just people that like are just genuinely free spirited, they don't really care. But then you can also tell the people that are like trying way too hard to be different. And it's like, it's okay to just kind of be normal, to be average. Like
Yeah.
most people strive for that.
Yeah. Like, you don't have, you just be yourself. If that's different,
Yeah.
cool. If it's not, cool. I
Yeah.
think she purposely would do things to piss
Mm-hmm.
her friends off. I think she was like,
Mm-hmm.
my mom would have called her a turd stirrer. That was like the term for people like her growing up. Like, she just would, like, purposely try to piss people off. That's like
Mm-hmm.
the vibe I got from her. Anyways,
Yeah.
do you think if Shiloh and Carrie started dating in high school that it would have lasted?
Um, I think it could have if she had the same kind of character development. If she kind of just grew out of that immaturity and wanting to always be liked,
Yeah.
or get attention from being different. Like, I think that could have worked because, I mean, they did love each other. Like, it was very apparent to me that they loved each other. They
Mhm.
were too afraid to admit it and ruin their friendship, but
Mhm.
they very much loved each other, and I think they could have made that work. But being, young and whatever, they could have also been stupid and done something to hurt the other and really messed it up too. So could have gone either
Yeah.
way.
I agree with that. I think that it could have been like perfect, but the way she was, I don't want to say politically, but really
Mm-hmm.
politically was like very anti-military. I think
Yeah.
she was in this Delulu mindset that the military is not needed. She
Mm-hmm.
obviously overcomes that in her character arc. She doesn't like a lot of things that the military do, and that's fine. Like, you're entitled to your opinion, but that doesn't mean that you don't need people to like
Yeah.
protect the country. Like, ultimately, we are here because military people died and
Mm-hmm.
protected us and got us away from. I mean, just I could go on about that part forever,
Yeah.
but I think she just like she was just had this I want to be different blind hatred in her head that she had to
Mm-hmm.
get through. So I don't know. I think that might have come in between them when he was like going to his training and like then when he would get deployed. I don't know. I just feel like she had to grow up a little bit. I feel like he didn't, but she did.
Yeah. And I think if they had gotten together, he would have ended up not going because he wouldn't want to. Like, he would have just stayed there for her and figured out a different way to provide for her. But yeah, like you said, she just had kind of a really immature understanding of what the military does in general and didn't understand that. Like,
Yeah.
that there is a need and it is important. And, these people aren't all bad, like, just because they're in the military. They're not out
Right.
killing babies, like she said.
Yeah, that part I was like, okay,
Yeah.
dramatic much.
Yeah.
Um, this note is that I thought was interesting because Shiloh and Carrie understand each other better than anyone else. They often assume the other one knows how they.
Miscommunication.
I said this too at book club. Nothing I hate more than a good miscommunication, and I feel like this whole book was them just not communicating.
Yeah.
They both were in love with each other since they were kids.
Yeah.
Talk about it, y'all.
Yeah. And it's like, even, when he went to visit her straight out of boot camp, um when she's 19 in college, like, and they kiss, she's like, I felt like I should have always been kissing him. Like, I would have kissed him at 13, I would have kissed him anytime. So
Yeah,
they both felt it, but they were just scared to communicate that. And, like, I get, as a teenager, you're scared of everything. You're scared of losing the people that matter the most to you. But, like, at some point you just have to realize that not communicating those things makes it worse. And if you do lose them, then you lose them more severely. Like, you're cutting them off.
yeah. And I think too, Shiloh always felt like she had to give him an out. Like, even before she had kids and all that, she was like, it's just a pass for the weekend, a weekend window or whatever. I don't know why
Yeah,
she felt like she always had to give him an out. I don't know if that came with some like insecurity on her part of like he doesn't
I
want
think
me.
so. Yeah,
But he never wanted an out, but he would take it because he felt like she wanted him to take it.
to take
And
it.
I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, neither of y'all want to separate. This is insane. But I mean,
yeah,
it ultimately didn't make for a good like happy ending.
yeah.
So okay, let's talk about the ex-husband cheating. Did you because that was kind of like a later reveal, but they dropped some hints. I felt like before,
Hmm.
and I was like, oh, he was screwing that drama girl
Yeah.
like when they were talking about her early on.
Hmm.
Um, did you like see that coming, or was that a surprise to you?
Yeah, I felt like it was really the only logical explanation for why they weren't together anymore. Because, I
Yeah,
mean, what other woman in her right mind would leave her husband with a 2-month old? Like, they just had a baby, and, like, something dramatic like that had to have been the reason.
Yeah, no, I kind of thought that too. Well, especially when she talked about how great of a dad he was and how charismatic
Mm-hmm.
he was and everybody liked him. He didn't want to be separated from his kids. I'm like, someone don't like that, don't you don't leave someone like that unless they did something bad. So,
Yeah.
okay, do you think the way Carrie grew up with his mom, like making all of the poor dating choices, do you think that had any effect on how he thought about his relationship with Shiloh?
Yeah, I think for both of them, because
Yeah.
both of their moms were like that, I think that definitely kind of shapes you and makes you a little more reluctant to trust anybody, and um, kind of makes you wonder if love even does exist, because you're like, I mean, my parents can't find it, so what are the odds that I can?
Right. Or it's like you have this true friendship with someone you love, and you're like, what if I don't know what that is based on what I've
Mm-hmm.
seen?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just reading through my notes. We already. Oh, the thing I didn't mention. They said demure.
Yeah.
Literally walked into his apartment. She said it was decorated very demure.
Yeah.
How have I not noticed this word? Since it went viral, I have read 2 books that said demure in it.
Yeah.
So apparently it is a thing, and none of us really knew until that one video about how they dressed for work. And
Yeah.
here we are.
I don't know. I liked it. I did feel almost at the beginning, if like the way he was saying bye and like freaked out over the whole prom thing, I felt like he almost thought he wasn't going to come out of the Navy alive. If that was like he was so intent on saying goodbye because he thought it was like forever.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just looking at my notes. I think um that he had some sort of I'm not coming back, like
Mm-hmm.
because they were so dead set on that prom thing. Which like
Yeah.
I went to prom, um, and if I would have not gone to prom, looking back, you know, 11 years later, I don't think it would have changed the trajectory of my life at all. And I went
Yeah.
with my current husband,
Yeah.
so like I don't think it would have. But to some people, high school's a much bigger deal than it was to me. I genuinely do not think of those as the glory days. I don't look back and miss anything about high school. I actually graduated a year early so that I could get out of there because I've always been very independent and I just don't do well like in a structured setting where I don't make money. And that sounds terrible. But if I'm spending my day doing something all day, gotta get
I'm gonna
paid.
get paid for it.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna get paid for it, and you don't pay me.
Just sit in
Listen
a
to
class and do
teach
nothing.
exactly. I could be working, and I did.
Yep.
So, anyways, some people have very fond
Yeah.
memories of high school. I'm just not.
Yeah.
But yeah, any other notes on this one?
Um, the only one I really have was the asterisk when
Yeah,
he proposed. She's like, let the record show you don't think this is a good idea.
yeah. I think that was still her trying to give him an out.
Yeah, she's like, let the record show I'm terrified of losing you completely.
Yeah,
Okay, but you're already here. Like, you've both admitted that you love each other and that you're gonna try to make this work and do everything you can. Like,
yeah.
you, you you've made that commitment. You have to honor it, and you have to like dive in. You have to try.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. Is that it?
That's all she wrote, folks.
Okay. Go follow our socials. Open Booked, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. Subscribe. We put out new episodes every Friday, and leave us comments or questions or anything like that. Let us know what you think and let us know if you want any merch. Also, leave us some recommendations for books for spooky month.
So excited.
Yeah. All right. I guess
Okay.
we will talk to you guys later.
Bye.